This week in Santiago's kitchen, we're making homemade pasta. And I'm using Bob's Redmill's recipe. So I started with 1.5 cups of their semolina flour and added a half a teaspoon of kosher salt. I mixed that together on the countertop and later realized I should have done this in a very large mixing bowl. You'll see why. You want to make a well in the middle of your dry ingredients and then get a small bowl where you're going to crack 2 large eggs. Then you're going to add 2 tablespoons of filtered water and 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. Once you get that into your small bowl, grab a fork and whisk it pretty well. This is where you'll see the trouble I ran into from not using a large mixing bowl. You're going to want to add the whisked ingredients into the well of the flour and just start mixing it until the dough starts to come together. And it's going to take a little while for all of the wet and dry ingredients to come together. At first, it's really a crumbly and messy mixture, and it's going to stick to everything, including your fingers. Just keep gathering the ingredients and incorporating the wet and the dry until you start to feel the dough materialize into one piece of solid dough. You're going to want to take your dough and knead it on the countertop anywhere between 5 and 7 minutes, and just keep pulling it together, pushing it down, folding it, push, fold, push, fold, push. Once you have your dough all together, you're going to want to wrap the dough in plastic wrap and let it rest for 20 minutes. You could even refrigerate it for a couple hours or overnight. Then, when you're ready for the dough, take it out of the fridge, bring it to room temperature, and cut it into sixths. Here I cut it into eighths, and I really think I could have used bigger pieces. So work with as much dough as you think you can work with. And with the pasta attachment, turn it to the biggest number, the highest number. Once you have your pasta machine on the highest number, you can sprinkle the little piece of dough you have, flatten it out, sprinkle it with some flour. You don't want to sprinkle flour onto the actual machine. You want to sprinkle it onto the dough. And we're going to roll it till it's about 1/4 inch thick. So you put it on the highest setting and you have it go through twice. And then you take the machine and crank it down 2 numbers and run it through again. And then crank it down again. The lowest number I went to was a 3 before I laid out my dough. Then you want to sprinkle your countertop with a little bit of flour and grab a pizza cutter and just roll the dough. Cut strips, fettuccine size, tagliatelle, pappardelle, whichever size pasta noodle you would like to cut. Here you can choose to hang your pasta. I just used hangers because that's all that I had in my house. But you can use anything you have around the house to hang your pasta and let it dry out while you're cutting the rest of your pasta and rolling it out. Your pasta noodles are only going to take about 3 minutes to boil, and you will end up with delicious homemade noodles. For these recipes and more, visit colemanskitchen.weebly.com.